All right. We hadn't talked about Antonio Brown from the Bucks, wide receiver, troubled wide receiver who's left the field in the middle of the game and took his shirt off and
hyped up the crowd.
The visiting crowd.
It was also horrible for him because the Patriots came back and won, which is...
As soon as they shed that dead weight.
It's not what you want when you're trying to... Doesn't punctuate your point, but...
Good luck without me, losers.
Stupid Jets. Not the Patriots, sorry, the Bucks. I'm on Tom Brady.
Sure.
But it's like... There's 25 seconds left. Jets, DBs. Don't let a guy get behind you. They need a touchdown.
Buddy, you try to hype up the Jets, DBs. They've been in trouble all year.
They need a touchdown to win. A field goal's not going to do it. Just put in the fucking nickel package and keep him in front of you.
Put in the dime.
So much of Tom Brady, a lot of it feels like when Tyson was in his prime. Part of it was Tyson destroying people. The other part was other guys just seized up. They're too scared, intimidated, not fighting back, and just getting their ass kicked. So it becomes self-perpetuating. But I was saying in Take a Knee podcast when I was talking to a couple of folks about mental illness and sports and things of that nature.
Timely.
Brown, he has a mental illness. I mean, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it's so interesting. And as a society, we've woken up to that to some degree. We're doing a better job with it.
In the 90s, he would have been called a prima donna or head case.
Yeah.
Right?
And even
locker room cancer. And it's like, the guy may be all those things, but he has a mental illness.
And even like Anna Nicole Smith, she was addicted and she had problems, and we're all just laughing at her the whole time. And then she's dead, But still, people have caught on to it and are doing a better job of it. But, I was thinking, it sounds overly simplistic, but, if he has an injury on the field to a knee or a shoulder, then he's a hero. If he has to be helped off of the field, we have great reverence for that. Well, he has an injury, but he has like a brain injury.
Right.
And we should basically approach it the same way is sort of what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that argument's been made many times, and I've never heard it in sports, but it's like if your kid had diabetes, you treat them. But if your kid has something else, it's sort of a shameful thing or whatever.
Yeah, and there are guys in any given game being taken off the field left and right with injuries. He's brave. He's going to the locker room. Well, he's going to the locker room with a brain. In his own way, with a brain problem.
Who went through both of the ends of the spectrum at the same position was Terrell Owens, who, of course, at the time was described as a diva and a head case, and he obviously had some depression issues. At the same time, remember he played in the Super Bowl on a leg he broke 4 weeks earlier?
Damn.
Something crazy. And he had a great game. He had like 150 yards.
When he was with the Eagles, had a broken ankle, I think.
Shin, or whatever it was. He played through it and had a great game.
So is anyone talking about CTE with Antonio Brown? Or
I haven't heard much of it with him.
I have, because Chris can maybe find this, or Kayla.
Well, I should say much, but yeah.
Vontez Burfict in a game against the Bengals. It's a good name. Questionable style of play for Vontez. He absolutely lit up Antonio Brown when he was with the Steelers, I don't know, 5-ish years ago. And it's a pretty violent hit and a pretty violent clip. And if they can find it, you can see it. But people have posted that in the wake of this, being like, this may have all been where it started, because he was messed up.
But what Antonio said when he, quote, broke his silence, is that I was hurt. They were trying to force me to play. They wanted to shoot me up with this, injection that they give everyone when they're hurt. I said I can't play. They said, then you're done. So, it's interesting when you hear what he had to say, as opposed to him just going crazy and leaving the field.
Yeah, I can't imagine there's
he did it in a flourish.
Ton of take this shot, get back out there
really?
In today's world. No.
I thought that was the order of the day in professional sports.
It was highlighted in the movie The North Dallas 40.
Okay, sure.
Take the Needle. It was all good football movies of the 80s and the 70s, like take the needle and get back out there. But today there's so much protocol and so many eyeballs and witnesses and stuff like that. It'd be really weird for a doctor to go rogue and go, "You're taking the needle. I don't care if you have cartilage problems." Like,
everyone's mic'd up. You can't get away with it.
It seems it's. I think it's a trope. If you can, you haven't seen North Dallas.
I have
40.
not.
Some homework for you, Max Zapata. When they finally got the running back on the North Dallas 40 to take the needle, he ended up catching a pass on a screen or flare out. His knee seized up. He was lit up so hard that it dented his face mask in.
Virtually impossible.
Virtually impossible, but that's why the silver screen is here. All right, so Vontez is going to light up Antonio.
Tell me what
Antonio
numbers
Brown will be the guy going for the ball on the white jersey, number 84. Receiver.
Throws a pass over the middle, stretches out. Vontez takes two or three steps and does the helmet to helmet targeting and
Could have eased up.
probably. I don't know if it was helmet to helmet. Maybe
it
it
was
was shoulder
pad
pad
to
to helmet. Yeah. But
I got a little helmet.
that's
That
how
looks like
Vontez
a car
played.
accident.
Well, that's what it is. Now, the CTE, it is CTE, right?
Yeah.
So see, the whole LGBT and BFD,
KFC.
I got too much stuff in my head now.
Chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
That's right.
That usually the
So I'm told.
the incidents, usually the receivers have a better time of it because according to the data, it's all the small impacts that the linemen, that the interior guys have a mini concussion on every play.
I see.
Versus better to have the aforementioned Mike Tyson knock you out cold in the first round than take a peppering for 12 rounds.
This is an exception, but one big hit a game, two maybe, that's better than 55.
Right.
Bang, bang, bang,
Yes.
bang.
Yes. All right. Well, since we're on football.
The needle also a trope in Varsity Blues.
Yes, take the needle.
Take the needle. Paul Walker.
And there's always ears nearby that don't approve, and at some point they close the door.
And Coach Kilmer closes the door.
Right. Speaking of coaches, Dan Reeves died at 77.
Super Bowl winning coach, right?
I think he won the Super Bowl with coaching for Denver. No,
not Denver.
Atlanta. Did he lose
Denver,
the big Atlanta?
Giants and Atlanta?
Oh, maybe he didn't win a Super Bowl. Then,
I was
as a head coach.
trying to think about it. He didn't win it for the Giants.
Not for the
He didn't
Broncos.
win it.
They didn't win until Shanahan.
As a head coach,
I don't think he won.
he didn't win, but as assistant coach, he did win for Broncos. Yeah.
So as an assistant coach.
Yeah.
Okay. And was he at the helm when Atlanta came undone to the Patriots? Or is that another coach?
Oh, no. That's Dan Quinn? Dan O'Brien? I forgot. I got Bill O'Brien. Dan Quinn.
Yeah, he was done with the Falcons in 2003. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He brought the Falcons to a Super Bowl.
Those the Dirty Birds?
Yeah, they lost. And he was a great player, too. Played for the Dallas Cowboys. Played running back for the Dallas Cowboys. Played in the famous Ice Bowl.
Short yardage guy? He's a white
More
guy.
of a possession. He was a running back. He was number 30, played for the Ice Bowl, and they were showing some old footage of it, and it made me think. During the Ice Bowl, and that was, I guess it was Green Bay. Was it Green Bay?
Yes.
And Dallas, what year? 67?
67, yes.
It was frigid and no domes, and everyone had to go out there and play. What always strikes me, and what struck me when I was watching this thing from 67, so, I bring this point up a lot, but 67 was, way past World War II and into Vietnam. And there'd be like interior linemen just wearing like farmer's gloves.
Oh, yeah.
Like they didn't have we had not invented a glove. We didn't have a glove. We had no gloves or Farmer John glove that you couldn't catch a football with. So all the skilled position guys were just like trying to wrap their hands up. But we didn't have a glove.
That's insane.
It's insane when you picture that we had, jet fighters and radar and put a man, about to put a man
on the moon.
In the
Yeah.
planning
with
stage.
the space program.
We
and
broke
everything.
the sound barrier.
Couldn't figure out gloves. didn't have gloves.
Can't put a little rubber on the palm of a mitten.
There's so many good gloves now.
Should have done that.
Well, when I worked construction, all we had was gloves, big leather, couldn't feel anything at home. They have mechanics gloves now, and they have a glove for everything, and they have little grips on them, and everything is ergonomic, and it helps you, and blah, blah, blah.
You probably don't, because your dad probably didn't have these. But Gina, you remember your dad's gloves, like work gloves?
Oh,
they were
he didn't have
canvas?
work. He didn't.
Oh,
he
really?
didn't
My
build
dad's were like
things.
canvas, and they were like snowman hands. You're like huge.
They had this
were
weird
burlap.
Had a weird red and blue or
Yes,
blue and
pattern.
white stripe. It had a little bit of leather like on the fingers and the palm, and then this weird canvas. I mean, they're just big robot
They're
gloves.
Mickey Mouse hands.
Was it just constantly balls popping out of people's hands?
The passing game wasn't what it is today.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown wouldn't have.
They have
excelled.
they have sticky divers gloves now, and thus the one-handed catch is
Is that
in vogue.
allowed?
Oh yeah.
That seems a little flubbery.
The glove has to be approved by the
Okay.
league, which
But they're sticky, and they give you an
little
advantage.
advantage, yeah.
Yes, they outlawed stickum, which is tree sap.
Is
They-
that
they
what
still-
pitchers use in baseball? Or
They
like
use
pine tar?
rosin. Well,
Pine
pine
tar.
tars.
That's
It
for
is
the
basically
batters.
pine tar for football.
Okay.
And they used to rub it all over their socks instead of sticky hands.
So
Would
to
get
your
all over
question,
the
Gina,
football.
that's illegal. A pitcher can't put pine tar on a ball. Batter can put pine tar on all day because it holds
Right.
the bat. Pitcher
Yes.
can't do that.
Got it.
And no more stickum / pine tar for Fred Biletnikoff and the receiving core, but you can't have the sticky gloves because I guess it doesn't get all over the ball. But it's
Nike paid a lot of money to get those gloves in the game.
It's true. It struck me when I was watching Dan Reeves play in the Ice Bowl. They didn't have Under Armour. They didn't have T-shirts that They had long johns. We
Right.
didn't have things
Like
for the
loungewear.
elements. Green Bay had been around for a while, and there were always elements and stuff. We didn't have gloves.
No
We didn't have the
microfibers.
undershirts. We didn't have any of that stuff. And it struck me because I was watching it, and NFL salutes Dan Reeves, and he played in the Ice Bowl. And at some point, they came out of the locker room, and a lot of the guys came out of the locker room and came out there. They had a gym towel wrapped around their neck and stuffed into their jersey, like stuffed into their shoulder pads, just try to keep a little
the
warmth.
throats warm. Yeah.
We didn't have a long sleeve turtleneck, something that
That's
somebody
hot.
could have worn underneath something
A
else.
dickie?
We had like frogmen.
We had cities in the
jet-
snow. Denver
Right.
existed.
No, they didn't have anything.
But to highlight their grit, nobody thought to cancel the game.
Oh,
no.
you can't do that.
Would you
Gina.
like to know how cold it got that day?
Yes.
-18.
Yes. And these guys from
The Rotten
Dallas,
Tomato score.
basically,
You.
they had the same stuff in the Dallas Cowboys did, and probably Green Bay. But ironically, Dallas Cowboys, they were just wearing the same thing they'd wear in two-a-days practicing in Texas in the summer.
Right.
But it was
That's the
negative
uniform.
18. They didn't have accoutrements. They could
you
not
think
add gloves or undershirts or anything.
Do you think back in those days it was kind of like a macho thing?
No, because they
Then a choice.
stuffed the towel.
Oh, they weren't trying
They
to
were all
look at.
trying to keep warm, like
Right.
in between warming their
Probably
hands
heaters, to the bench.
and stuff. But they couldn't. They didn't have the technology for the clothing.
But like you said, it's not just the technology. Nobody thought to wear a turtleneck. Like they had options of some sort.
Well, maybe something with a Christmas theme on it or something, but they didn't think that would do. Or
Right.
it was wool
Sure.
and it would get wet and then it would retain the
Sure.
moisture and that would freeze or something.
yeah.
We didn't have materials
Wow.
or gloves.
No
or,
Gore-Tex.
Yeah, but it was also like we didn't have the. You're right in that we didn't have the thought. We
Right,
didn't have the wherewithal.
right.
Like it's fucking freezing. It's called football. Suck it up.
yeah.
Was it? But yeah, Dan. At first, I thought it was a toilet seat, the neck roll.
neck roll, yeah.
But then I realized it was a towel that
That's
he
so
shoved down
sad.
there. Yeah, we have.
Oh, it was sunny. So insulting.
The quarterback is wearing has a towel. I think he has a towel in there too. You can find Dan Reeves from the Ice Bowl.
That's before Starbucks time, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. All right, just before. All right, Gina, I have thoughts. Oh, I got a little clarification on water cremation,
Oh, Aquamation.
aquamation. Yeah, those guys were guests on Loveline.
Yeah,
in
great band.
2001. They sucked. You guys are from Orange County, right? We're from Aquabatia.
Aquavania.
Okay, how long is this?
Yeah.
How long
Keep
are we
this
gonna
up.
do
This
this?
is 5 minutes into a 2-hour show.
Didn't let it go. Yeah, the
Aquamation. Instead of cremation.
Yeah, so here's how it works.
Yeah.
Because Casket Steve called into me and Dr.
Oh,
Drew's
very
show.
good.
And
It's the scourge.
That's right. Eating into his business.
It's about $4,000 versus the oven, which is kind of $9.95.
Time out. Sorry. That's hilarious because one of the reasons why Archbishop Desmond Tutu requested it was because he's a man of meager means. He didn't want to make anyone make a big deal out of him.
Well, I could have saved him 300% on his demise. But it's more because it's new and the equipment's expensive. You go into a contraption. It's $3,000 or $4,000 This is all according to Casket Steve, but that's his business.
Try to talk you down.
You go into this thing that's sort of like an iron lung, I guess.
Okay.
They seal you in it. I had questions like, do we put a suit on the gentleman? You know what I mean? You go into the casket. I mean, I was half joking, but are we just watching his dick and balls as he slides in there? Like, how do we do it?
Mm-hmm.
We must be a doily or a coaster or something they put over the shroud. But you go in, they seal you in. It's superheated water with a little bit of acid in it.
So it's like an Instant Pot in the kitchen.
And your body is liquefied and it goes down the drain. There's no hazardous material, whatever.
You.
In the article we read for the news, it said the only thing that's left is the bone, and then they put that in the oven and make it a dust.
The bone is pretty much gone too, according to it eats away everything, but there's a little remnants of bone.
Interesting.
You're supposed to recycle any of the fake hips or joints or titanium knees
that are left
or
behind.
Stuff that are left behind.
Breast implants.
Yeah.
For example?
And
They might melt.
they probably melt away. But then the rest of whatever's left of the bones is pulverized and put into a jar or something like that.
And it's
that's
pricey.
it. And it goes right down the drain.
Interesting.
Into the ocean.
Yeah, because we've talked about things like this before, and I mentioned it yesterday. There are, and it might be different than Aquamation, I'm not sure. But like, think Breaking Bad season 2, when they literally just liquefy someone. I mean, that is a very eco-friendly thing to do. I just think, and a lot of us think like, I'm dead. It's a shell. It's a meat suit. I don't care what you do with it. But when you think about that, it really is, it feels grotesque.
It's interesting that we know we're dead, but we haven't fully accepted it. And so people have thoughts about like, well, I'll be buried, but I want a video game with me. Like, they have like thoughts about, I want worms crawling up my ass. That's a lot of.
I don't want to be worm food.
Right. A lot of that. And the cremation oven is another thing we can't really wrap our mind around. But this is liquefied.
Wow.
Damn.
And down the drain.
Thoughts?
Well, I'm fine with it. It's.
Mangrove version 3.0.
I like it.
Soylent Green.
My thing is, obviously, it takes a lot of energy to superheat the water and fire the thing up. So this thing was like, it's the eco-friendly. We kind of do that with cars. Like, well, yeah, but there's a coal-fired power plant that's charging your car, and then we get all the heavy metals from China to make the battery. Like, it's not free.
Same thing with Bitcoin. All the massive computer rooms.
I've heard about that.
But the article I read on the show said it leaves such a minor carbon footprint. So that can't be accurate then.
Well, we're doing a weird thing, which is we are taking a thing and separating it from the other thing, which is we're taking
from the prep.
Electric cars are great because they don't pollute and they're great for the environment and so on and so forth. And then we're cutting it off there.
Right.
We're not going, well, how are we charging the electric cars or what's in the batteries or something? So if you want to be kind of focused on one thing, you can do it without lying, but somebody has to. I'm guessing it's a lot of energy to superheat the water and keep them in there for 3 hours and all that kind of stuff. It takes a few hours, so I've heard. Now, I was asking legitimately. I said, look, God forbid something happened to our own Max Zapata versus the Porcelain Punisher.
Oh.
I was looking at Matt when I was talking about it. But Matt's going to spend more time being decomposed and liquefied than you, Chris.
Yeah.
It's going to take a little more energy.
Yeah.
It's going to be a few more laps.
Right.
Not that I wish this upon anybody,
But
the airline charges for extra luggage, or they weigh. They weigh. I've had my bags weighed many times.
multiple
Well,
times.
it's more fuel.
Right.
Your bag's going to go over 50 pounds. We got to charge you for that. The van at the car wash,
Interesting.
gets an extra surcharge,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
more
yeah.
energy, more water.
so far, I'm with you.
I'm kind of that way too.
Maybe they do it by weight. Maybe they do.
Is there a world where the Matt Fondeliers of the world can make an argument that, hey, I'm 96, 97% body fat. I'm going to go like that.
Brian!
Chris might be a little more lean and might just take a little longer. He's got shells in him from fucking 10 years ago, for God's sake. Shrimp tails.
Chris.
Yeah, they're circulating in his blood.
Oh, here's
Yeah,
Matt.
I think Matt, that's
does
for
not
the
look
next
happy.
of kin. That's for the grieving.
96% fat, you fucking bald fuck.
It's hyperbole. It
didn't
can't
deny
be
it.
above
He didn't deny
mid-80s. Yeah, I don't know how it works, but I think I would work it based on volume.
They charge
The
by
sheer-
tonnage.
No. Breaks for students, seniors in the military. It's a little morbid. Well, students are going to be a little smaller than the
Right.
professor is.
When do you bring
Military,
this up?
tip of the cap. The
somewhere-
elderly, bag
right.
of bones.
Somewhere in between, I'm sorry for your loss and drive safely. You bring this up.
Well, it's not all bad news because many people might be liquefying Nana, who was ravaged by
75 pounds
cancer,
wet.
and by the time she went, why should they be paying the premium? It doesn't go away. It
Right.
gets passed on.
The savings?
Well, the same with the luggage weight and stuff. It just gets spread around. You know what I mean?
Go to UPS, they're going to charge you
That's
for what
right.
you're shipping.
Okay.
I have no argument. I do want to know, you said it goes down the drain, like a regular old drain.
That's
No,
right.
they take it to your drain.
Right, yeah. Regular old drain. That's what he said.
Okay.
Goes right back in.
Thank you, Casket Steve.
All right. Dan Reeves is throwing the pass. He threw a pass.
A halfback pass?
Halfback pass in the ice bowl, and he has a couple of towels wrapped up, shoved in his head.
And that's not much of a mask I'm looking at, a face mask.
No.
The lineman behind him, that's about as detailed as it got back
Wow.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
a T-strap on a shoe.
Yeah, nobody... everyone always talks about the players in the ice bowl. What about the drunken folks from Green Bay who are in the stands?
Look at that mummy on the bottom.
They're just showing
Face
up with
mask.
blankets
Yeah.
and face masks and a full
Ski mask.
Ski mask,
That
yeah.
is fully creepy.
Yeah. And there's one in the top,
Yeah,
too.
I know. I don't like it.
All right, we have Gina. You experienced a leaf blower this morning.
Like no other. It was poetic. So I had to drag my ass out of bed at like 6:30 this morning because we found a drugstore that got their antigen COVID test supply in, and I needed one because for the kid for school. So I got up. They open at 7. There was already a line. I was like a few back, but when I looked behind me, there was a line of people, and you only got one. And they said they sold out by 7:20. Anyway,
Did you get one?
I did. I got one. It was 6:45, I think, when I emailed Chris. Empty parking lot, the Rite Aid. I mean, there was a car that looked like it had been left there overnight, and that was it. People sleeping, people, not quite ready to start their day. This motherfucker blows up his 2-stroke leaf blower to an empty parking lot, and it goes on for 16 minutes. In case you don't believe me, here is what I witnessed this morning.
It was an empty parking lot. What's he
Empty,
blowing?
nothing.
Leaves.
Look, what is he blowing? Somebody explain that to me.
It's blowing my mind, man.
Empty parking spaces.
Yeah, it's so goddamn
16
loud.
minutes.
Look,
Nice sunrise.
Yeah, beautiful.
we must do something about. Oh, is that mainly seconds in the background?
It's very close.
Yeah, it's so okay. We need to. All right, here.
Walking around aimlessly.
All right. I have construction going on the lot next to mine where I live. And it's a full-blown tear-down, full-blown. And they start at 7 in the morning, and I wake up to neat. And
Here we go.
it used to be just on garbage trucks. It is
Right.
now on every piece of equipment you can rent that
Vans.
has
Van,
a wheel,
yeah.
vans, but all the construction stuff, even the smaller bobcats and backhoes, and I was like, nee. And getting back to it being 2022 and everything, it can be heard for a distance of 3 miles, and it pierces. I mean,
Yeah.
you can sleep through the radio being on in the next room, and you
Easily.
can sleep through the TV, and you can sleep through maybe someone's using the microwave or something. But and you just get up. It's just like, all right, now I'm
That's the sound
up.
of an alarm.
I'm not behind anyone.
No.
The person is 3 football fields away from me. And I just thought, this is a big quality of life thing.
Especially in the nice part of town.
The-
I'm
Yeah.
used to it.
The leaf blowers and the backup
Yeah.
beepers, and it's all, whether it's the leaf blowers or the backup beepers, it's all early morning activity.
Always.
These guys get started early, and we need to make a move here. Somebody has to fucking put their foot down or say something. I told Chris to look it up. I know we've looked it up before, but they have versions of the backup beeper that are white noise.
Yes.
yeah.
And didn't we find one, like maybe it was European, where you could only hear it when you were right behind it?
Right.
Yeah,
It was like,
Vibration kind of thing.
right.
So what's going on right now is in California, the rule is it has to be heard at least within 200 feet of
Of
vehicle
course it
in
does.
any direction.
Sure.
And
Why would you have to?
Any direction.
It's a guy's driving a Bobcat and he's digging a swimming pool.
It's not the deftest turning vehicle.
200 feet is 3.5 houses over. You're taking a nap and you're hearing it. Them digging a swimming pool with the Bobcat.
And it's not for drivers, because drivers have their windows up and they're listening to music. This is for people in their house and walking by that are being disturbed.
Yeah, well,
It's not for, you're not having the intent that you think you are.
Well, it's for the hypothetical of the guy on the construction site who's playing Tetris on his phone, standing behind the Bobcat. But that guy's within a 6-foot
Yeah.
radius of the Bob. Why is it up to 200 feet is my point.
And a lot of people, the big argument too is because it's such the pitch of the beep and it's so intrusive that you actually have trouble placing exactly where it's coming from when it's that
Right.
loud
True.
and at that tone. So what the UK started doing in Canada, and now like in a few states here, like New York is doing it, they implemented the white noise beeper. And here we can listen to it, and it's only coming from behind. And you can hear what it seems like when it passes by.
Oh, when it passes.
Oh, look at that. Now he's about 90 degrees.
Oh, you have to be.
And most importantly, because broadband sound dissipates at twice the rate of a pure
Smart.
tone sound, it doesn't cause noise nuisance to
Whatever,
neighboring
Ringo.
residents or other workers on site.
So you need to be directly behind
That's
it to
very
hear
smart.
it.
It's directional.
Seems doable.
It literally is doable.
we know it is.
How many between the leaf blower? As a guy worked morning radio and took some naps, but then worked late night radio and slept in and did some stand up. I have been awoken by the leaf blower or the backup beeper. The over-unders 27,000 times in my career. I've never moved out of the way. I sometimes rolled over and put a pillow over my head for
It didn't
protection.
save your life.
It's just, it is insane.
Yeah.
And it is a huge quality of life thing. Like who amongst us does not get woken up by this on a weekly basis?
No. I don't know if you've been down Magnolia lately, Adam, but on over there's this beautiful high rise they're putting up to class up the neighborhood, and that construction I'm fine with. It's hammers, it's whatever. But the our leaf blower dude, has the audacity at 7 a.m. when he's blowing leaves to come on the porch. That's sitting right next to our bedroom wall.
thorough.
Do it as Robin Quivers. Be outraged as Robin Quivers.
You would not believe, Howard. The man Now, I understand. We all have a job to do. I do the news on your show. He does his job. But I am sorry when it is 7 a.m. and I know I'm used to getting up early. But please, most of society is still in bed.
Very
and he
good.
comes up. My window is right there. My head is 2 inches away from this leaf blower. And I want to say, come on. What are you doing?
It is weird, especially in California, how we have a we're very concerned with minutia. Always talk about this, like, oh, in a few years, if you're a big box store, you're going to have a third aisle for the non-trans conforming toys or whatever it is. Like, we really drill down on things with codes and rules and stuff. Like, we get really Carson Daly, MTV's Carson and Good Morning America or whatever, Carson Daly. I mean, he was explaining to me in great detail once when he was putting a pool in his home in the Palisades that it had to be double hulled, like an oil tanker.
Holy shit.
Like
to deflect missiles?
They needed
God
to
forbid
pour
water get into this?
2 pools.
Wow.
A pool like you'd stack a red cup in the other one because there could be seepage, and even if it's like a saltwater pool. By the way, the saltwater Pacific Ocean is 100 yards away. Whatever. The point is it's going to cost them another $78,000 to do the second whatever.
To be fair, Carson was opening an Aquamation business.
That's true.
It should be double hauled.
But we do have tons of rules for tons of things, but yet they're just ubiquitous. The leaf blowers, it's all around us all the time. Not a damn thing anyone can do about it. Don't get it.
I don't mean to bring up a sore subject, but you had a great idea not that long ago that I was like, amongst your many good ideas, I was like, I would like to do this someday myself. Nap room. What happened to the nap room?
Oh yeah, like the safe.
I was gonna. I
thought that was so awesome. Like soundproof, light activated nap room.
Been thinking about this a lot lately, and I'm glad you brought it up.
It's a great idea.
And I've been wanting to bring this up. I will, you know what? I'll get into the details. I'll tease it. First, I'll tell you about Simply Safe. Want to make your home feel safer? No better time than now. Simply Safe is giving my listeners access to their New Year's deal, 20% off plus your first month free when you sign up for interactive monitoring service. This is a great product. It's a great company. These guys have been around for a long time. They invented it because there was a hole in the market, and they filled it, man. Batteries last up to 10 years, peel and stick, up and running in half an hour, no pulling wires, no muss, no fuss. Named Best Home Security System of 2021 by U.S. News and World Report. Start feeling more peace of mind in the new year. Take 20% off and get your first month free when you sign up for interactive monitoring. No long-term contracts or commitments. Visit Simply Safe, 2 eyes in there, simplysafe.com/Adam. Do it today. That is simplysafe.com/Adam. All right, quick break. I'll tell you about the nap room right after this.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, Smith. Wanted to tell you about the new Phenom prospect out of Tulane, Nefarious Reasons. Man, that guy's got some wheels.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Yeah, let's get those names going again. I was going to build a house from the ground up, and the first order of business for me was to build a nap room. I cannot tell you. I tried to take a nap at my house the other day. It's the backup beepers. It's the leaf blowers. It's also, it was bang, bang, bang on the door with Natalia's friends. The rule is whoever's friends are coming over, that's who needs to get the door. You don't get to be hanging around watching TV while your friends are banging on the door. But I was thinking about it. Like the thing about your house, now look, if you have a nice house and you got the dual glazed windows with the argon gas in there and you're a little off the beaten path, you'll have a better shot at a nap.
Right.
But it's still that guy's still going to be pulling the delivery van up the
Yeah.
back of the driveway, backing it up, beep, beep, beep. And the gardeners are still going to be, the neighbor's still going to be doing, the construction still going to be doing. When you are in a neighborhood with a little more action in it, it's nearly impossible. You can't do
Indeed.
it. And I just thought naps are insanely important. They've went, basically what happened to naps, they followed the same trajectory as pot.
Do tell.
When I was doing the Man Show, I used to, at some point, because I was working nights doing Loveline, and then I was working days doing the Man Show, at some point, I would always say, I need to go down, well, not if I was working, but if I could. I'm going to go to my dressing room off the stage, and I'm going to lay down for 20 minutes and I'm going to take a nap. And then Danny Two Sheets would be like, we're all working. You know, it's a lot of
Get your beauty rest.
a lot of like you're weak,
Yeah.
you know, when people
Your
said they want to
highness.
take a nap, it was weak. It was sort of like pot. Guy's a junkie. He's a pothead. Now
Taboo.
he's a shaman hero, you know. And they figured out that a 20-minute nap in the middle of the day is a huge thing for you and your brain and productivity and focus and everything.
Most of the corporate world adopted it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
Google.
high-powered executives do this. You know.
Yeah.
I
every
used to
day.
beg people. I would tell them all the time, Jenny Jones show or like whatever I'm doing on a red eye. I would go, if I can lay down for 20 minutes, I'm going to be so much better. We'll fine. We'll give you coffee. You
Power
bring you
through.
you can bring you in the studio. We want you in the studio where we
Yep.
can watch you. You know, it's like I always liked the nap, and I realized it's like I was fighting this kind of lazy, you know, thing that was hung over my head. Well, now everyone has realized the benefits of a nap. You don't get it so much
Sleep
anymore.
hygiene.
Yes, it's now sleep hygiene. It was weak and soft for taking a nap before. I'd sometimes go into we had a couple of female producers, and I would just go Jennifer Heffler and what's the other one? Can't think of her name. Anyway, I just go. They had a sofa. I'd go in there and lay down because Jimmy and Danny weren't nappers, and they looked at my napping as a little bit weak, you know.
Yeah.
And I just always knew that if I could sleep for 20 minutes, I'd be much better. And I realized in a conventional house, it's just life is going on around you. It is really hard, especially if you have what I have, which is hypervigilance. I hear everything. It bothers me. I'm the kind of person who could be upstairs taking a nap with the door closed, and someone would be knocking on the door, and the person who should be answering the door is closer to the door than I am, but I'm hearing it in my sleep, get up, go down. So I wanted a nap room, and the nap room would be windowless, soundproof, cool. Probably do it in the basement area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Gets too hot up on the second
right.
floor.
Needs to be cool.
There'd be an element to it where like you could lock the door, you know, little
It's a panic room.
intruders. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
had the light that would go on like napping.
Yes. I wanted
The on-air light.
Right.
I wanted the on-air light.
Yeah.
This dude is anyone who lives in this house who comes back. Don't come looking for me.
Right.
Give me a nap. I'll give you a countdown of when I'm waking. I'll do a 40-minute nap or 20-minute nap. It'll count down.
That's good.
An hour nap, you know, so you could come in, see the lights on, and say, oh, he has 21 minutes left before he emerges from his tomb.
It's a great idea.
I like it too.
It doesn't seem that far-fetched.
What happened?
Yeah.
I never built the house. I ended up buying a nice house, but no house has ever been built with a nap room in it. They're built.
I tend to agree.
All the nice houses, they have movie theaters.
Yeah.
They have second kitchens on the first
Libraries,
floor.
bars.
There's a person in my neighborhood has a bowling alley in their basement. They have everything. First off, the footprint of a nap room, it's really only 4 or 5 foot wide by 10 foot long.
Full-size bed.
Yeah, the size of a twin bed if you
You
want.
just got to get your bed in there. And the countdown clock and the I'm napping sign and the whatever. And plus, because you realize like how much of your nap is kind of stepped on by the noise. You jostled, there's somebody comes in,
naps.
something's
It's not
going
refreshing.
on. Yeah, most naps. So
You were typically awoken from a nap rather
Yes.
than wake.
right. So a nap room
Amen.
shall be put into the next ground up house I build. And I would imagine the peace of mind knowing you were in a soundproof room.
I fucking love that.
I fucking love
It
it.
should
too.
definitely only lock from the inside.
Oh,
This could be a real torture chamber.
There's no handle
Okay.
on the outside.
It's a good point. All right, got some praise for Bald Bryan. Got
Mom, I told you not to call.
Jim Croce song someone wants to get into. Gina has a theme song to a 80s sitcom that I'm wildly intrigued with.
Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Okay. You want me to tell you now?
Yeah.
Okay. I love following these, crazy accounts on Instagram, and one of them is called Retro Diaries. They put up fun old commercials, soap opera clips, whatever. Well, they had a 90-second intro to a, I imagine, very short-lived sitcom called Half Nelson, starring Joe Pesci and Dick Butkus.
I never heard of it either, but Chris looked it up, said it was on for about a month and a half.
Yeah. Now, shows just start. We don't even do theme songs. We don't tell you the origin story. This is a 1.5-minute intro. I thought you may have even heard of it, but maybe not.
Sounds familiar, but it also sounds like a gag sitcom that I named when I was doing a bit on Kimmel or something.
But this opening is pretty much a 90-second commercial for the LA Chamber of Commerce. Mm-hmm. So check this out.
Joe Pesci.
Half Nelson. LA, you belong to me.
Joe Pesci. I do that zoom shot on everything.
Victoria Jackson.
Wow.
What year is this?
85?
Yeah, 85.
Pre-SNL.
NBC.
The Hammer.
Fred Williamson.
There's the cliff. We're still going.
Oh, yeah.
This is pre or before Gary Newman's I Love L.A.?
It has to be right around the same time.
Yeah,
Does that look like Spuds McKenzie?
Introducing Tony,
As Hunk.
the dog.
Yeah.
Randy Newman, I Love LA is 83.
Oh,
There we go.
Dick Butkus.
Dick Butkus, also starring. And wait, there's more. I think Bubba Smith is in it.
Jesus.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah,
We're enjoying this.
I could see that.
Talk about finger popping.
And where are you from again? L.A. Part of what county?
Los Angeles.
All right. Yeah.
Dean Martin.
Dean Martin.
As Mr. Martin.
So Joe Pesci is Rocky Nelson, a former New York City cop who moved to Beverly Hills, where he got a job at a private security service for the rich and famous while attempting to make it as an actor.
Oh,
In
this is
addition to
everything.
guarding celebrities, he also helps solve crimes.
I'm sorry, was his name Nelson?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course it
Okay,
was.
I was like,
Nelson.
why, yes.
Rocky
And-
Nelson of Half Nelson.
Right, everybody. And were all the former football players, I imagine, part of the security team?
They must have been.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah.
Fun.
I think in the split second they showed the Dodgers. I think that was Steve Garvey.
Oh, no shit, I didn't catch that.
I swear it was Steve Garvey at bat, and I think it was Steve Garvey doing a headfirst slide.
I'm not sure if it was the LA County Courthouse, but they really highlighted one of the ugliest buildings on the planet.
Yes.
That was Steve Garvey.
Steve Garvey at the plate, and then Lopes. That was
We have to
Davey
have a
Lopes
real
doing
freeze frame
a
on
head. That was Davey
There
Lopes
you go.
doing a head first slide. I
done.
knew my 70s, 80s Dodgers. All right, we'll just start at the top. We'll get down to Bald Bryan's fan.
If we have time.
If we have time permitting. Pablo, 32, San Marcos, Texas.
Mijo.
Meho.
Hi guys, Happy New Year. Great to always say hello to Bald, Gina, and always thankful for what you do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My question and comment. I was thinking about the podcast because I was watching Boris Johnson, kind of do his defense in the House of Parliament, which I find a very interesting British thing, right? That the Prime Minister has to go kind of defend his point in Parliament. And I was thinking a little bit about like the Adam Carolla show on the podcast and how you guys, I guess, developed your skills, right? You cut your skills in radio and morning radio. How would you recommend someone, I guess, develop those skills, right? Because I'm an avid podcast listener, and a lot of podcasts, right, they're pretty well baked, pretty well produced. But the fact that people can call in, talk about a point, right? You guys are kind of quick on your feet. What were some of those things I think that formed that skill set, which I think sets the podcast apart from many others that I listen to?
Well, thanks. Well, I think everyone here has a good, solid radio base, so you touched on that. The thing about, we've talked about it a bunch, so I'm going to get too repetitive, but the reps. Be careful in life about the invisible reps versus the tangible reps. Never really talked about it this way, but I'm a talker, but I was a carpenter. And the physical reps of carpentry is reps, man. You figure out that you could nail off a shear wall that take 1,000 nails in it, and you could push the nail gun down, depress the safety, which is at the end of it. So if you see any Pesci movies where they're firing nail guns at people and killing them, you can do it. I've done it. You got to reach your hand back and pull the spring-loaded safety back at the tip, because they'd be sued out of business with nail guns. You just pick it up
Like
and
a
fire
gun.
a 16-penny nail onto a job site. But you learn when you do that if you push it down, depress the safety, squeeze the trigger, pow, you fire one 8-penny sinker back in the day. Now it's probably 10-penny ring shank. Anyway, then you slide it down either a foot or 6 inches, depending whether you're in the field or on the seam, and you'd press it down and you'd do it again. But you could do that, but it would take you a long time to do a big, long shear wall. At some point, you realize if you depress the trigger and smack it against the wall, pap, 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 it'll fire every time you depress the safety. So the physical learning and the technique went from ka-chunk, slide it down, ka-chunk, to pap, 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 pap. And when you see guys who work, that's how they work. That's how a guy who does this. But that's a physically learned technique. Right. And then in construction or in gem cutting or in cooking or in working a griddle, the short order place at a Waffle House, it's all just technique, muscle memory, crack the eggs, throw it over there, fire, sear the thing, whatever. And so we all understand the concept of that. But the concept of the repetition in the invisible world, we don't really understand that. Yeah. That's a little more like, well, the guy's got a degree and he's passed the bar or something.
Or he's gifted. He's just good at it. It's like most of the time they have a gift, but they develop it.
Yes, do not sleep on the repetition. Simply something like interviewing people. Pure repetition. Could not do it at the beginning of my career. Like this, most people can't. It's a difficult thing, but it's invisible. You never get a certificate, and you never get bonded or licensed by the state. You just do it.
You get incrementally better.
Yeah, and we tend to be a little dismissive about the invisible experiences. Yeah. I would argue oftentimes they're more powerful than the tangible ones.
Absolutely. I don't know how many times I've heard people say, for voiceover, well, have you had any training? Well, I know how to talk. It's like,
right.
That's not the same. Yeah.
I mean, look, what the hell's Tom Brady doing now at age 44? He's just using all his crazed experience in a league where he is the slowest quarterback in the league. I can't think of one who
No, it's not even close.
Who's the slowest.
Especially starters.
His arm strength is good, but they're 8 guys who got more arm strength, mobility, whatever tangible thing you want to talk about. He's in the middle or bottom at all of it, except for the brain part where he understands everything.
Right.
But that's the invisible part.
Right.
The 40 time, the bench press, that's all quantifiable.
Him.
Don't forget, I was there at the beginning with Tom Brady.
Oh, that's right.
He was never the best out. Like, there's certain times, like I'm sure with Cam Newton, from age 12, he was the best athlete on any field he stepped onto. Tom Brady was a very good, excellent athlete, but you wouldn't be like, dude, that guy's head and shoulders. Like, no, he's good, just like 10 or 12 other guys. Worked his ass off.
I would sign off on giving Cam Newton one of my apostrophe Ds.
Oh, to Cam?
To Cam Newton, because Cam Newton, that guy could be in the French club at school,
right.
You know what I mean? But to Cam,
now we know.
That guy's lighting it up on the football field. Hey, Pablo?
Yeah, I mean, it all makes sense, I guess, like, practically speaking, would y'all ever, well, I don't know, like, is there, like, the internship of podcasting with radio expertise, right? Like, how do you get the reps in? Like, do you have to go into the radio world to a certain extent? Do you start producing and kind of get your feet wet under there? I know y'all have done radio for a very long time, but I feel like there's some podcasters, like maybe they're good journalists, right? But if they had to kind of like pivot quick on their feet, they might not be able to do it.
The good news is, I guess, in terms of practice, is podcasting is now so ubiquitous. There's over 1 million podcasts online.
The barrier to entry is much lower
Not,
now.
I think only maybe one of them has a world record. But anyway.
I was watching And Just Like That.
Oh, I can't. I'm not into
I
it.
can watch it.
Okay.
I watched the first episode. I don't know how to find the other ones.
It's for the best.
And she was just heading in to do a podcast.
She sure was.
And that's
An
how you know
edgy
it's ubiquitous.
podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so many. It's so easy to start, impossible to master. But if you just, like Adam said, you can get your reps in now at home.
You'll suck at first.
Yeah,
That's
and you're supposed to.
That's part of the gig.
Do 10 in earnest and then throw them away and then put one online.
I like that. I like that recommendation. Well, if y'all ever do, what do we call it? Like an intern program, you know, as you think about your legacy or, you know, if retirement is ever in the cards, I think that'd be a neat memento, I guess, to pass on.
We're just taking hot chicks now after the divorce.
It's fascinating.
So
We've done a clinic before. That was
a
fun.
master class.
Yeah.
All right. Brian, 38, Wisconsin, has a song that can't be played anymore.
Hi, Guy.
Hi, Guy.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. Hey, just wanted to say first off, ever since the world went on lockdown, you guys at that point were pretty high on my list, but you have been absolutely number one in my podcast world ever since then, and I appreciate all that you do.
Thank you.
And the song that I'm curious if it's ever come across your radar is Jim Croce. It's entitled 5 Short Minutes.
Do you know this song?
Have you heard this one?
I don't. I only know Jim.
Reference, a bit of inside baseball.
That's fantastic.
What was the plaster?
Well,
They would plaster cast your dick.
These were groupies.
Oh,
These were
those
famous
groupies.
Yeah.
The plaster cast. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What
A
was
very
that
famous
doc
Kiss
called?
song.
I never saw the doc.
There was
Neither.
I figured you guys
I
did.
read a Rolling Stone story about it.
I
20
think
years
there
ago.
was a doc of the two groupies that did the dick
No shit.
plaster
Yeah.
casting that was on somewhere.
Saw it.
Plaster caster.
Yeah, it's a Kiss song.
Not that one. Yeah, that one. Was it on Netflix or something?
I'm
There was a
finding out.
doc about the
I'd
two
like to see
groupie
that.
chicks who did the dick plaster casting.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
that
the
would-
chorus. Plaster caster, grab a hold of me faster. If you want to see my love, just ask her.
All right.
Wow. Yeah, we'll figure out where that. It is. I can't be making it up. I
No,
saw
no,
it.
it
So
has to-
has
yeah.
to exist somewhere.
Wow, that's great.
All right, let's get to Justin,
man.
44,
We gotta take a break.
Orange County.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Hey, what's going on? Heap some praise on Bald
Yeah, we're
Bryan.
about to be doing real good.
Well, let me say one thing real quick. Number one, this is the fucking greatest radio show of all time. But I wanted to call in and heap some praise on Bald Bryan, and this is going to sound insulting, but
perfect.
It's not.
Skip this part.
Tell us the whole tale.
I just think, bro, you've gotten so much funnier. You're like so much better. I was listening to the Ace Awards, and you're killing it. You're fucking killing it. You're cracking me up, and I just wanted to call and let you know that.
Thanks, man. That means a lot to me. I
Most
appreciate
improved.
it. No, I'll take it. I'll take it. I feel as though, how do I put this? Like, I've been on the same medication now for like 8 months, and I got like maybe a month and a half, 2 months left till I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? And this medication, I didn't tell you guys, but I recently started taking Ritalin because the doctor prescribed it to me because my energy was so low. I was having trouble concentrating. I was having trouble like following conversations. And it's been about a month. And it's like 15% improved, but I'm like really excited like to finish this medication. I feel like I've been playing, I don't know, a sport, basketball, with like, a backpack on, a heavy backpack.
T.O. with a bad wheel in the Super Bowl.
I'm going to get this backpack off me and really ball.
That's great. I've noticed there are days where I'm like, Brian's having like physically, I think you're having a tough day. And there are days like, Brian seems like he's doing great.
It's really rude.
No, but I can tell when you're tired.
I know what you mean. I know.
There's a lethargy that you fight through, even just when we're chit-chatting, and you never say a word about it.
I'm excited to shed this this uncomfortable shell and really fly.
So you take the Ritalin every morning?
I do.
Oh, nice.
I've been taking between 5 and 10 milligrams. It's a very, very light dose, but it increases. It's fucking amphetamines.
It's
it increases my energy, helps me focus. I have ADHD anyway, so it's kind of an overall improvement. But it's helping, and I'm looking forward to
half-done jobs getting done throughout the house.
I know exactly. Yes, that's. You're 100% right. I'm much more able to concentrate and finish a task at home.
Interesting.
It's crazy.
Well, it shows. Thanks, Justin.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for noticing.
No problem.
Yeah, it was interesting. We're, I don't like to talk about myself. But I was thinking about Tom Brady, and I was thinking about the notion of some people getting better when other people are trailing off. And it happens that way in life. I mean, it happens that way in careers.
It's more often than not, especially at the quarterback position.
Yes.
How many guys flame out after a spectacular start?
In sports, it's easy. There's a kind of a physical mandate. You stop whatever. But then you think about all the folks that are in the arts, and you go, is Seinfeld, is he keep getting better, or Dave Chappelle or something like that? You go, there's comedians, there's actors, there's writers, and you go, oh, this person seems to be getting better. And there's a trail off in the arts as well. And I had a nice conversation with Dawson in Portland, I think, after one of the shows. And I had been doing, I tried to recommit myself to stand-up a couple of years ago. I sort of made the decree, like I wanted to take it a little more seriously, and I wanted to work on it. And I found myself getting incrementally better, but some nights would be off. And it was sort of 2 or 3 years of plodding along and getting a little better, but not really seeing the kind of results that I wanted. And then in the last 4 months, I noticed a bump. Like I jumped. It's not like it doesn't work like weight loss. Weight loss is you start your diet, you start your exercise, and every morning you look a little bit better. Yeah. But this is like the arts, stand-up, you go out and have a bad night, your diet and exercise, you get out of the bed and you look worse after 2 weeks of it, But it'd be the equivalent of that if you saw little to no results for a year of diet and exercise, and then one day you just got out of bed and you got a six-pack ab. Like it had, and it flatlined or semi-flatlined for like 2 or 3 years. Yeah. And then I felt it.
Well, at least now we are going up, and you go. Like
yes,
this,
it changed. And like 2-3 months ago, I went, oh, something happened. I got a lot better. But I was sort of thinking, well, that's me. But I can assess it. Like I could feel this. But Dawson pulled me over after the show and said,
I said, you have gotten exponentially better, but the big question was, it looks like you're having the time of your life now. Are you having fun?
You have a much better time when you're better at something.
Indeed.
And vice versa.
Yes.
It looks like you're having a lot of fun out there.
It is. You do start looking forward to it, and then it goes like, oh, I get to get better now, or I know this stuff, and it becomes like self-fulfilling prophecy. But
that's how the conversation started. It just looked like you were having the greatest time up there, and then... you have gotten hugely better. Because of COVID, we haven't been able to go on the road with you. So I don't know what the last couple years have looked like in those shows. But these last shows I saw you do, it was amazing and inspiring.
Well, I did. I also had the thing, which is, I'm closer to 60 than I am to 50. You can make a move if you want. At any time, pretty much. If you
tell me about that, Grandpa Carolla.
Put your mind to it.
What? Just because we've been talking about the difference between tangible and intangible, just real quick. You said you feel better. You've gotten better. Can you name a thing or two that you've noticed is the thing?
No. All I can tell you.
Awesome.
Lock with you and me.
Dead weight gone.
Ignoring dumb questions from sidekicks has propelled me.
Sure.
No, I can tell you that. Do not expect any of this to work like the aforementioned diet. It does nothing. It tries to discourage you. You feel like you're putting in the work, but it's not getting any better. And then you jump ahead. Then you have that move, like a little quantum move, where you do 6 months worth of dieting in one day and you pow. So it doesn't move in a real linear fashion. So it's kind of hard to gauge. But if you step back, you'll notice you're getting better. And I haven't, and then there's a positive cycle of it, which is, you have more confidence and you've learned to turn the jokes around faster and your comfort level is better with it. And then the audience picks up on the fact that your comfort level and you're having a good time and whatever it is. But I noticed it but only like 3 months ago, I started to notice it. And I didn't, August can't hear the show because he's eating.
Sure.
He's opening his mouth as wide as he can.
He's
crunching the pretzel just echoes.
He's eating pretzel bread in the back, and he's watching college football that he's gambling on. So I couldn't, and I didn't want to ask anyone. I kind of knew, I could feel it. But it was nice when Dawson just sort of unsolicited pointed it out.
We have audio recorded on all of that, and we'll highlight some of that stuff next week.
Oh, cool. All right. All right, good news. Adam Ferrara is going to join us. Speaking of stand-ups, got a comedy special out, and we'll do that right after this.
From the cutting room floor of the 2021 ACE Awards, honorable mention for Best New Definition of an Existing Word.
First thing, we got home from San Diego way. I guess we pulled in here about 1:30 or so. Brian slept the entire time. Dawson in rare form.
Oh.
It was
rare form.
Not rare. What, I wasn't drinking?
He was lit, but he was animated.
We call it laminated. In 11 and a half months, join us for the 2022 ACE Awards.
Adam Ferrara has rejoined us in studio. Comedian, actor, host, stand-up as well. Comedy special. It's Scary in Here is available for free on YouTube. Filmed at Gotham Comedy Club in New York City. Got some dates coming up. Addison, Texas at the Improv, January 21st through the 23rd. Phoenix, Arizona, CB Live. That'll be the 26th through the 30th. Good to see you again, my friend.
You too, my friend. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Were you a car guy before you did the American Top Gear, or did American Top Gear make you a car guy?
It gave me the keys to the kingdom. Mm-hmm. I can't wrench. I wish I could. I can't. I don't. My job, I love cars because of my dad. So, because my dad could fix anything. So, but my job was to hold the light. Because I just
job.
Yeah, but that's what I would do. So I still can't wrench. And now you don't even need a wrench. You need a flash drive.
It's weird with, the computer. It's weird with dads because people go, I love cars because of my dad, or then go, I hate liver because of my dad. Because of my dad. It can go a lot of different directions.
Something's either a warning or an inspiration.
Yeah, but it's not so much the mom. The moms are a little more in the middle. They can love it because my dad turned me on to, or whatever, the team, the sport.
That's a great bit we should do. I love and I hate because of my dad.
I have many.
Yeah, I have
That'd be great. I'm writing them down right now.
But your dad, your dad was a worker, right?
Yeah, he was a
plumber.
Plumber. We did kitchens. We
Carpenter.
did construction. We did kitchens, bathrooms, and stuff. And I don't have that if-then go-to statement. So I can't. And he's the thing that killed me was my dad was my hero. He was my dad. So we're working on the car one day. It's not going well. I'm sitting there trying to do something with the carburetor. The wrenches are falling, blood spurting, and things are falling. My father took a long drag off. He was lucky. He put his hand on my shoulder. He goes, son, you got to get a job. You have to work at something the rest of your life. This ain't it. This ain't it. So,
well, in a way, I talk. Let's something to think about. I talked to a lot of comedians. And, you go, what got you into comedy? They go, I couldn't do anything else. I couldn't do anything else. And I wasted a good decade doing something else. I was good with my hands. So I was like, well, you have a skill. You have a vocation, go be a carpenter. And I could do something else versus a lot of my friends that were like bartending, going out on stuff. I felt like I had a truck and the tools and a skill, and that kind of slowed my role. Did
you enjoy it? I walked in, you were talking about enjoying what you're doing, and did you enjoy it?
I got a lot of satisfaction out of it. I like possessing a skill. I like knowing what the terminology and the tools. And I did have a moment. I fought it. Today's show is filled with lessons, kids. I fought it for a long time. I want to get off this construction side. I want to get out of here. I want to do comedy. I want to do this. I want to hang around with these kind of people. I don't want to hang around with these kind of people. And at some point, I just said, I will make peace with this. This is what I do.
Okay.
For now, it's what I do. And it may be what I will be doing for the next 5-8 years. So don't fight it. Make peace with it. And then get better at it and stop being so disorganized or half-assed. I don't want to be here. Take your chords, wrap them up correctly, put the panhead screws with the panhead screws and the flathead screws with the flathead. Get organized, and otherwise get your shit together and stop pretending like you don't want to be here. It's sort of like if you're going to be in prison for 8 years, make friends with the warden, get a job, learn to draw. Don't
read the Bible, memorize
read the Bible. Don't just
don't clench.
Don't just sit and pout in your cell. I was kind of pouting on the job site. And immediately got easier and better when I leaned into it a little bit.
I think that's the difference between power and force. Force is you're trying to do something. I don't want to be that. You're forcing an attention into an area. It's not going to be there. Power is when you're working with what you have. And like you said, you wrap up your chords. My old man told me at the end of a job, you wrap up your chords, you organize your tools. He said, how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Right.
And if you're working with power, you are empowered. If you're working with force, you're going against something that's going to beat you. So
interesting.
Yeah,
it's like you said when you got better at comedy because you were enjoying it.
Yeah.
Well,
they feed each other.
Yeah.
I was less miserable on the job site when I was more organized and sort of took a little pride and sort of leaned into it a little bit. And it's people. 8/10 of your life will be somewhere you don't want to be. Or you've decreed that I don't need to be here, I shouldn't be here, or this is less than what I want to do. Get good at it. Find some pride in it. Find a weird sort of Zen rhythm of it. Like you can flip hamburger patties and kind of find a rhythm, of a kind of a Zen rhythm to it. And you're never going to love it, but you can certainly tolerate it while you're there.
Yeah, it's like those guys that used to do, now the taping, when you put the sheetrock up and you got a tape, you see the guys with the trowels, like, they were like ninjas. They were just ninjas. And I do it, there's tape all over the place, there's shit in the buckets, things are wrong, I broke the corner bead, I just couldn't.
Corner beed. Yeah, they'd wear stilts.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
They'd have a bazooka, which was this gun that shot joint compound. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
and it was also it was bizarre. Well, not bizarrely, eerily, or something soothing to like watch guys who really knew what they were doing. One of the greatest, one of my few good memories from a construction site was I built a house up in the Hollywood Hills off of Woodrow Wilson. I worked on 2 houses. One was across the street from Leno's house back in the day. That's a famous story. But then I moved to another house up the street. And we'd done a big remod in the house, and we were doing everything. And at some point, it became time to do the oak stair railing on the stairs that went up to the master suite on the 2nd floor. And, you know, it's real precision. There's like radius stuff to do. It's clear. They're not painting it. And you got to think about a railing. I don't know if you think about a wood railing.
I have sanded a railing before. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It goes down.
Yes.
It's radius.
It's a massive pain in the ass.
How do you get the wood to do what you want it to do? It's got a dado joint in the bottom. Everything pops in. It's like...
And the clearance is 5, whatever it is, 4 or 6 inches. You know, between posts.
Between the pickets, yeah. But think about who's making all of this stuff. Anyway,
I don't.
I don't.
I know.
Never occurred to me.
That makes you an ugly American.
That's right.
At some point, there was a Japanese guy who was in charge of it, right? And he was going to do all the railing. And he, you know, so he was there for like, I don't know, a week. And he would show up every morning. He had all his tools and his chisels all wrapped up, and he would unwrap them
like a chef.
like a chef,
Yeah.
He was like a sushi chef. He
That's
would
right.
open up. His hammer was a wooden hammer, you know, wasn't something from fucking Sears
Right.
with the fiberglass handle on it or
The
something.
rubber.
And I've just watched this guy, his little Japanese banjo saw, you know, as I could hear the pan flute. Yeah. You know, just show up, he'd lay it down, you know, had his lunch, his little mini thermos and everything like all there. Yeah, and he'd come in the morning, he'd like make a little offering to the comedy gods,
Sure.
to the carpentry gods, and he'd just start in on it, like really methodically. It was never, shit, you know, can I bum a cigarette off you, dude?
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't that guy. This was what he did.
Yeah.
This is his specialty, and I would just watch him. And I just had so much appreciation for like the artistry of what he was doing. And I realized he enjoyed it. Yeah. He got a lot out of it. And anyway, me and some other white guys beat the shit out of him by the dumpster.
Took his pants off.
Took the hammer.
His wooden hammer.
Yeah. We don't need your kind in here, Jonathan. And we just beat the shit out of him.
I'm from Tokyo.
We
I said.
We have universal slangs or
trees aren't curved.
Epithets that just cover everyone. Yes, trees aren't curved. Get out here with your hocus
Bonsai.
Pocus. Yeah.
Stop stunting the trees. Let them grow.
So I remember that very clearly. And then later on, I became the guy to do the railing in the house.
How'd you do?
I wasn't as good as this guy, but I did it. And then the house burned to the ground.
Oh, my.
It was in Malibu.
Okay.
Railing fire.
An indictment on your work.
I know. I have no thoughts about it, by the way.
I'd rather
People
burn
ask.
this place down and fix this railing. Look at this
That's
mess.
right. That's probably what happened. Upset wife.
But
Lacquer
just
thinner.
do you remember the Science Channel when they show the factory stuff and everything just moving in precision and stuff? It's almost hypnotizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look at this. I have no idea what they're making.
Yeah. We should as a species appreciate this shit more. Sorry. So stand up for you. You out on the road?
I'm
You're
out.
doing
Yeah,
it?
the 2 dates, Texas. I got the Addison Improv, I think 21 through 23, and then CB Live 26 through 30, and I'll be at Barrett-Jackson at the auto auction.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I make an appearance there. I go down, I see the cars. Craig's an old friend. So,
Craig Jackson.
Craig Jackson. It's really, really cool.
What are you doing? Are you performing there?
No, I do shoot some stuff for him. I was on all last year before COVID. I was doing the online stuff with him and April Rose, and we would do like pieces on cars, and then every 15 minutes we would do an update. But it's great. You're like a kid in a candy store. You get there 2 days early. You see all the cars, and
Yeah,
it's
the
fun.
collector car stuff's going nuts. Barrett-Jackson's coming up, and
26, the week of 26th, I believe it is. 26
you say in
through 30.
Vegas or Phoenix?
This one's in Scottsdale. Yeah. And then there used to be one in Mohegan Sun. I think they moved to Houston. They moved from Mohegan Sun to Houston. Palm Beach was a lot of fun to do. Humid. Bring your powder.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm shooting stuff. I was getting out of this the SLR to Mercedes. It was the best
With
car.
the gull wing door.
The gull wing door goes up, and I was like, oh, the balls need this. Okay. I can stretch them out without being seen. So, yeah, but it's a lot of fun. Were you at SEMA? I was shooting stuff for SEMA.
No, I wasn't at SEMA. My guy, Matt Moderator DeAndrea, who I do CarCast with, went to SEMA. I've not been back. I mean, they closed stuff, then they opened stuff, and it was all sort of, everything was stupid. Think about the notion of last year, well, the year before, Monterey Rolex Historics got scrubbed. It's in Monterey.
Right, totally
it's
on the water.
1,000% outdoor. And there's a lot of social distancing going on inside those vintage race cars. And it's like, we just had this weird, maybe it's dangerous, maybe it's not, just pull the plug on everything.
Yeah, SEMA was fun. I shot this. It'll be on History in February. It's like it's called Launchpad, and it's like Shark Tank for automotive people. So
nice.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you who won, but it was pretty cool. I shot the semifinals and the finals there, so that was pretty cool.
There's a new sitcom about an
American
automotive.
Auto.
Yeah, Catherine Hahn, I think.
Is it good? Has anyone seen it?
I saw the clip. The one clip I saw was pretty funny, but I haven't seen any of it yet.
What do you think, or I don't know where we're at, the state of the network sitcom?
Oh, Christ.
Don't
I haven't
know.
laid my eyes on one in well over a decade.
But could somebody blow it up and bring it back? I mean, could there be... Well, first things first, you'd have to thin the herd. This committee of 18 executives weighing in on,
Not going to happen.
And it fucks... think about this as it pertains to art. You know, I've been in those rooms. I've had those conversations, CBS, NBC, or wherever. It's like, they go like... Imagine being in a room with your writer, the creator of the show, the showrunner, and you're sitting there, and they're like, Nancy Gordetsky doesn't like this joke, and you go, but it's a killer joke. Yeah, but she's never heard of Burning Man. Well, then that's on her. Let's just get rid of Burning. Let's just say he was at the swap meet smoking pot, and you go, it's so much better being at Burning Man. And they go, I know, but Nancy, just give her this one.
Yeah.
Just give her. You know, many conversations where you go, just fuck this joke up because that bitch doesn't know comedy. Just give it to her. She doesn't. And I go, well, tell her everyone knows what Burning Man. Yeah, but that's going to piss her off because you're shaming her essentially because she's saying I haven't heard of Burning Man, and it's just like. All right, so this is how we're going to do this. We're going to take a bunch of unfunny people and give them jokes or take away jokes. And how could this process be helped by this? How could the product be good? What has worked this way? Could she get involved with Dave Chappelle's stand-up act as well?
Tweak it a little.
We don't know what a turf is. Could we? I didn't like the beginning part. Yeah, can we call it something else? And then Dave, just give her that joke. Just weaken it a little bit. Well, these are the conversations. Yeah. So there's, if you want to know why it fell off a cliff, is because that is the process, or was the process. It could only come back as if they clear the room out, get some Seinfeld type guy and goes, "This is the show." Yeah. Or Larry David and Seinfeld going, here's our show.
In this hypothetical scenario, I can certainly see a scenario where some young upstart executive at NBC hands over the keys to the kingdom to some genius, Sacha Baron Cohen or whoever. What I can't see is them getting around S&P, standards and practices. How do you compete with the Hulus and Netflixes and HBOs of the world when you can't curse or even allude to penises or vaginas or boobs or whatever? Like, you are hamstrung to a certain set of rules, and for that reason, they'll always be what they are.
Yeah.
Well, they're lightening it up on some of the language, but not some of the attitude stuff. You cannot make jokes about this group or that group or anything else
because it's not a subscription. You're not paying for it. It's the ads are what's driving it. So art and commerce are never going to meet. They don't care about the art. They care about the money.
Yeah, I got to do a break here, but but it's true. And then it's also. You know what I heard when I was doing a sitcom pilot? I heard the word like nice and likable like 3,000 times. And I had one of my mini meltdowns on the soundstage, which is I was being told, like, he doesn't seem nice. It's like likable, nice. And it's like Archie Bunker wasn't nice, you know. It's the death of comedy is nice, you know what I mean? It's like, but he should want to be, he's likable. It's like likable, nice. I kept hearing it. At a certain point, I just went, it's called a sitcom. It's got the word comedy in it. I haven't heard the word comedy. I've not heard anyone bring up funny or comedy in this it's been 3 weeks. All I heard is nice and likable and relatable. Where's the comedy part? How come no one has thoughts on comedy? We're trying to do comedy. It was all nice and likable, and that's when it really started to, like, it lost its edge. You know, we had to make sure. But again, we grew up watching Archie Bunker, not likable at all, but super funny.
Yeah, with a 92 share.
Right. I imagine
likable is quantifiable easier than funny. You know what I mean? You can't stick your neck out and be like,
yeah, but
"That's
it was
not funny."
also the times of which we only had 3-4 channels.
That's right.
And TV was supposed to be socially relevant. Now there's so many choices. You're struggling for attention. You know, where are you going to put your money? Where are people going to put their attention?
I'm always curious whenever they do shows that involve them building a car. They can never make a bespoke car. It's out of the budget. You know what I mean? They have to take a 89 Chrysler Baron and knock off the name tag and then like put some weird aluminum tape over the headlights. It has to be something else.
Right.
And if you know
Modified.
cars, you can kind of spot it.
Yeah.
I think in the commercial, what was it called? American Auto Company?
Yeah.
I think it was like a Chrysler 300 or something they were using. That's my, the things I spot in sitcom commercials are Steve Garvey and Chrysler 300s. But yeah, what's the number one network sitcom right now? And what kind of numbers are they pulling?
Is Big Bang still on?
No.
Young Sheldon?
Modern Family's off.
That's long gone.
Yeah.
Young Sheldon's still on.
That's changing.
I know. I couldn't tell you, man. I know that NCIS and all those dramas kill it, but if it's sitcoms, like fucking.
Is Three's Company's gone, right?
I'm pretty.
I think so.
Chris, look that up.
I think Big Bang gave way to Call Me Kat, which is Mayim Bialik's sitcom where her name is Kat and she runs like a cat restaurant. I'm not kidding.
Really?
Yes. Like a cat coffee shop that has cats in it, and her name's Kat.
Yeah.
It's high concept.
Well,
but every cat is likable.
That's
true.
right.
That's
very
true.
relatable.
Yeah.
somebody's just got to get in and sort of turn the whole system back in time, like just bust it up, give the Larry Davids and Norman Lears of the world. Let's just let the guy have autonomy.
Well, the Simpsons, you know how the Simpsons lasted long? There's no suits.
Right.
They deliver it to James L. Brooks goes, you push play.
Yeah.
Right.
Same thing with South Park.
Yeah.
Right.
Or in another world, or probably this world, does the network sitcom simply go away and give way to competition, reality series?
Yeah.
Like that
They've done a
feels
lot
like
of.
much more
Yeah.
likely.
I know, but it's fucking.
I would love your scenario, but what are the chances?
Well, not good unless they bottom out. All right, do we have the trailer for this show?
Yeah.
See if it's a Chrysler.
This is just the part you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Someone bring me up to speed on this self-driving car that we are announcing.
Yeah.
Oh, baby, drive us around the block.
You're calling
And
it
a gas
baby?
tire.
Seems a bit misogynistic.
How's that misogynistic?
Because you can't call women baby.
It's not a woman, it's a car.
All cars are women, everyone knows that.
Well, this car is a man, okay?
Figures. First car to do the driving, and it's a man. Effortless. With a knee.
Yeah, we're not laughing that hard.
There was one scene where he gets mad because the white car hit a black guy. And that was funny when the black guy got out.
Was that a Chrysler 300?
That was a 300, yeah.
All right.
That was 300C, I think.
Oh, see, everything is ruined when you know about cars.
You know what I love about Chrysler products? The littlest dopey. This is how geeky I am. There's a rocker switch under the steering wheel for the volume control. And that for me, it's rather than doing this for the volume, I go, this is genius. Genius!
The volume control's a little, not rocker. I mean, it is a rocker switch, but not for rockers.
Yeah. No,
I mean,
not
you
for
want to
rockers.
turn up the...
You can turn up whatever you want. Sports radio, whatever you
Right.
want. I'm not
It's
going
not
to
just
judge
for
what you turn
rockers.
up and down, right there. That's all you got to do.
I just said rocker switch. I wanted clarification
Thank
for
you.
Gina, because
Thank
the
you.
rocker switch.
Thank you.
I
Now let me
appreciate
tell
it.
you what I didn't like about that Gallardo. That Lamborghini, pedal box too small, launch control very violent.
The Gallardo.
Yeah, the Superleggera. I had a Superleggera. I used the launch control. That's where you rev everything.
Lamborghini
Gallardo.
lightweight.
Oh.
Yep. I thought I lost a kidney and dropped the transmission. That's how violent this thing was.
With the launch control.
Yeah.
Do you guys know how launch control works? You do a setting. So cars have so much power now that if you just sort of rev it up and drop the clutch, you might just spin the rear wheels. and Adam, you helped me with this because this is more modern than I use. But supercars have launch control now, where you put it on the launch control setting.
Yeah,
it puts it to the right amount of RPMs for you. Smart. You push the clutch in, or you do
foot on the brake.
Foot on the brake.
$5,000 on the RPM.
Yeah, or depending on whatever works the best, and the car takes off as fast as it possibly can without any human error.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
And it's scary.
Yes.
Yeah. It's fun. And it's like being aroused at knife point. It's like you got adrenaline going, but I could die any minute.
Speaking of the volume knob, I don't have much to contribute to this conversation, except my wife was in automotive research for a long time, and anyone who's seen new cars knows that everything's push button and touch screen, and it's very modern. Turns out that car buyers only wanted knobs for two things: volume and heat and cold.
Yes, I totally
Please
agree.
thank your wife.
Yeah,
I'm driving around with
just
this.
messenger.
I'm like Katharine Hepburn. I'm just sitting there trying to. I can't do this.
The volume knob and the heater knob will probably never go away.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that control.
Cars got cool and digital and modern, like in the 80s, and some of them went to a digital tachometer, just numbers going up digitally, but everyone wants the needle.
Yeah,
they want the sort of.
Let me take this. The gnarled wheel. Shit.
The knurled wheel. No, we want the certain things are just better analog. I think people kind of like their watches that way.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. We'll take a quick break. Adam's going to hang with us, and we'll do the news, and Adam will hang out and crack wise right after this.
Well, let's start local. We in California have a mask mandate, as you know, that was supposed to expire on January 15th. So we only have a few days left. But wait a second, it's been extended through at least February 15th. That's according to KTLA News. So the mask mandate went into effect on December 15th. And again, it was set to expire in a month, but things are getting a little wonky, so they say. So it requires masks to be worn in all indoor public settings, regardless of vaccination status. The mandate's February 15th end date will be reevaluated closer to that time based on conditions across California.
When is the Super Bowl out here?
That's
6th.
Oh.
They're looking at Dallas.
I just saw that they're looking at alternative venues.
What?
They have a contingency plan.
Yeah, backup venues.
Is it on the 6th?
I'm guessing it's beginning of February.
No, it's
the
not.
2nd or
13th.
13th.
It's the next weekend.
next week.
Next week it is?
But
Yes.
it's technically still part of this mandate. It's
Well,
the
that's
13th.
what I'm saying. It
Yeah.
made it under the 15th mandate.
Right.
We should move it. Let's move it. Fuck California.
the Super Bowl?
Fuck them. Yeah, just fuck.
I thought you said move the mask mandate. I said, yeah,
No,
move it.
get rid of the mask mandate, but move the Super Bowl. Go to fucking Texas. They'll go watch it there. No one will get sick. We'll lose a bunch of revenue, and we'll learn a fucking lesson. You fucking idiots.
As soon as California realizes how much money you're going to lose, they're like, listen, all right, we're going to let it go for 4 quarters.
I don't know. They're
CDC
fucking retarded. They will take a stand.
If this game goes into overtime, you put your mask back on. But for right now.
That's right. Yeah, right. Put your mask on. Here's a hot dog and a beer. Nurse this thing for 3.5 quarters.
Exactly.
I was watching the Rose Bowl, held at the Rose Bowl, filled to capacity with 100,000 people in it a week and a half ago, or whenever, New Year's, whatever. And I was watching a capacity crowd sitting in the Rose Bowl. How did we pull this off? I didn't even see anyone wearing a mask. How come we canceled it last year? What the fuck is going on? Where's the fucking experts? Where's the fucking science? Barbara Ferrara? Not related?
No.
What the fuck? Come on, people. You guys you're following the science. Where's your fucking science? 0 Rose Bowl, packed Rose Bowl. Okay, should have been a super spreader event. Then what? Where? Give us some data from the Rose Bowl. It was packed to fucking capacity. You can cancel it out here. They'll move it to Texas Stadium. It'll be packed, and nothing will happen.
Yeah.
How often does that need to happen around the country before you get your fucking heads out of your assholes, you pussies? Thank you.
Well, and I was, frankly, because it's California and it's Newsom, I was wondering when they're going to shut down Disneyland again.
Oh, yeah. He must have that on his things to do.
list.
That's
On his
right.
to-do
Steve
list.
Buscemi, people to kill.
That's right. Lipstick through it.
Whatever the new variant is so transmittable and so small, the masks don't do anything with the new one. That's
Really?
why. That's what I hear.
I don't know. Look, My mother's flipping out. I was at because I have a pre-existing condition. I'm old. All right, Mom. So I went to see for Christmas. I'm not coming out of the house. There's the news. The unicorn's out there. I'm not coming out. So she's all nervous, right? So I pick her up. I take her around. She's got the mask and everything, but she can't. It's hanging, and I can't tell her. So she's like, I feel so, you know what? I hate this mask, but I really can't get sick. It's dangling, Mom. It's a flag. But
I should be able to read your lips.
Yeah, but it's nerves, and it's no one really knows, Yeah. So what
I know, but let's stop shaping society around a pack of pussies.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to be shaped. I don't want society to take the vote. Look, people are nervous. Oh, the mask doesn't do anything. Well, yeah, I know, but people feel better about wearing the mask. Fuck those pussies. That's my feeling. I don't want to shape society around it. It's a fucking either works or it doesn't. Either we can have a stadium filled with people safely, or we can't. I think we just played a whole college season with capacity stadium. So if that in fact is the case, then we may do that. Yeah, but a lot of people over here in California, they don't feel comfortable. Fuck those sheep pussies. Fucking kill yourself, pussies. You're ruining my life. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Do you have a problem? Go fix it. Get some therapy. It's not my fucking problem. We had a Rose Bowl that was empty, and now we have one that's full. So let's hear the data, Barbara Ferrara. You can shut your fucking cunty mouth. Fuck you. Why did we cancel it last year? Well, we didn't know. Okay, well, now we know.
Well, not only that, why even have the protocols if we're not going to enforce? Like, you can have mask mandate at the Super Bowl. You can require people to be vaccinated to get into the Super Bowl. But if you're going to eliminate it altogether, why even bother? Why even bother with those steps?
How are they going to make the decision? Okay, let's say we're going to move it, right? How are you going to move this game? It's not like, listen, we're going over Carolla's house, right? Gina's dog is out. She doesn't want to put it away. It's all over Carolla's
You
house.
can move the party, but you can't move the actual game.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
are they seriously talking about going to Texas with
saw it. What do I know? I saw it in
I saw
the
same
paper.
thing.
Yeah.
Contingency
LA
plan.
Times reported it today.
Oh, man.
I think they're just thinking about how we're going to do this if we have to do this.
Or they could just play the fucking game.
Yeah. I really think they're going to say, with the money they're going to lose.
Well,
and Kroenke just built that stadium?
Yeah,
well,
I
and that's the
think
thing. What happens to the $1 million suite ticket holders that are going to be fucking
Look
furious?
at Rose Bowl 2022.
Wow.
Is there not 100,000 people in that fucking stadium?
There is not an empty seat.
All right. Well,
is everybody okay?
It's been 2 weeks.
A lot of red.
Has it been an issue or?
I haven't heard.
I heard Doug got a sore throat. He went.
Doug?
Yeah.
Your friend Doug got a sore throat?
Doug went sore throat. I don't know
see
what we
him
got to do.
in the corner.
Yeah, there he is. Oh, he doesn't have his mask on. Yeah.
Aha! Your fault, Doug!
Where did they move it last year?
Walk
They
it
move
off!
it. They move it to Texas last year.
Arizona, right?
Oh, Arizona.
Glendale.
All right. God, these other states, they must be so happy we're retarded. I just love it.
When is gas coming down? $5. I need a cosigner to fill up my car.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what I said. That I don't know how anything fucking works anymore. But if we're so worried about the debt crisis and about all this, why don't we just put a moratorium on gas tax? And we all pay, $2.50 and fill up, and wouldn't that be helpful?
Vote grand.
That's right.
That I don't get.
Well, it's obviously kicks the shit out of poor. Gas and food are the two things that just beat the shit out of poor people.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I know.
So cancel it. You love canceling
shit. If you really
shit.
want to help out poor people, well, take the tax and put a moratorium on it for a year or something, or till whatever comes back down.
Your opinion, I think, and it's working because I'm looking at it. But do you think they're trying to just get us to buy electric cars out here? It's like what they did with cigarettes,
like the road diet.
Yeah, there is a lot of that.
They're not upset about it.
There is a lot of that because when you hear them talk about it, they'll go, "Yeah, well, we're working on it, but it does help with the electric car, or whatever. If we had an electric car." But by the way, there's just I just read it was a few months back, but there's an article about during the heat wave, don't plug in the electric car, so we don't have the grid.
Nope.
I know that's what I was thinking.
That's why all the neighborhoods went down. Because the charging stations.
Oh, really?
That's what we talked about when I lived in that part of town in Mid-Wilshire. All the grids went down because those charging stations, the grid's 100 years old.
Yeah, great.
It's crazy.
Get the grid together.
All right, let's move on. As rumored earlier this week, the Grammys have been postponed. The Recording Academy issued a statement that says, given the uncertainty surrounding the Omicron variant, holding the show on January 31st simply contains too many risks. So they're postponing. They're going to postpone the Music Cares Person of the Year, which is honoring honoring Joni Mitchell and Clive Davis. That's a pre-Grammy gala.
Clive may not
They
be
better
around
hurry up.
next year. Yeah, and Joni is, well, I mean, Clive Davis got to be 90, 89. I mean,
I would
late
imagine.
80s.
Well, they're saying they don't know when they're going to be able to do it because it was supposed to be at Crypto, Staples, as we all know it. But, those bookings are getting pretty full, so you can't just move it.
Oh, right, because the calendar fills
Yeah,
up.
so we'll
All
see
right,
about that.
Another award show.
So we're going to
Bites
miss
the dust.
the Golden Globes,
Poor David
and
Wallace.
we're probably going to miss that too. Speaking of missing,
Who was going to host the Grammys?
I
Do they
don't know. I don't even know if it
Well,
was
just say hello,
hosted or
Cool
not.
J.
Yeah, it's a safe guess. At least to open it. Your
Trevor Noah.
Trevor
Oh,
Noah.
okay.
All right.
Your beloved Sex and the City sequel.
Yes.
And just like that.
And just like that.
Chris Noth has been cut from the season finale. I mean, his sky
His dream
is
sequence.
falling. That's following his sexual assault allegations against him, despite his character, John James, Mr. Big Preston, dying in the first episode. He was set to make this cameo, I guess, with Sarah Jessica Parker in the last episode. But now the footage, quote, will not make it to air. After the show's premiere and his high-profile Peloton commercial, Noth was hit with several accusations of sexual misconduct. He's denied them. He also was dropped by his talent agency and the show Equalizer, which I think he was on with Queen Latifah?
Queen Latifah,
Yeah.
CBS.
Yeah, oh, yeah. She's a cop.
Great sitcom.
Well, arguably more laughs in the Queen Latifah playing the cop on the edge than there is in the standard
His agent
30-minute
dropped
format.
Yeah.
So
He went from everyone's like, we
I know.
forgot we love him to this.
well, first off, shouldn't you? You just get accused of stuff and you just get cut out of everything now.
Yeah.
You just get dropped.
Because people don't want to touch
Yeah,
it.
can't have the risk.
We talked about that. We just talked
What
about
the
that.
risk is?
I
no
know.
one-
The
but-
secondhand risk of being associated.
Right.
I know, but does anyone see from a societal standpoint that if you'd like to get someone canceled, all you have to do is rustle up two other nutty chicks and you could just lie and go, I'm not saying they are. I'm saying you could.
No.
You just go, oh, that guy touched me inappropriately in a nightclub in Miami in 1987. And I go, oh, okay, where do you want us to fire him? Like, so it's a little bit of a weird place we're in, you know?
Right.
And so the thing is, you go, well, he should get his day in court and he should be judged by a juror of his peers and so on and so forth. That's our system, but that's not this system.
No.
This system is shit can his ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's his livelihood.
Yeah.
And then once it happens, it kind of is. You know what I mean? Like, you want to hire Chris Noth? No, he's the one who got in trouble with it. Well, he didn't. We don't know if he got in trouble. He was accused.
That's not what we remember. Like you said, oh, didn't he rape somebody? Like
Yes.
that's that.
That's that.
Yeah. So I don't know what's next for him. But on the flip side, it does remind me of that line and I totally agree with Brian, not an Oscar award nominee, but a good movie, The Promising Young Woman, that came out, 2 years ago?
It's a good movie.
It's good, but it was up for Best Picture. And, she's, basically taking revenge in certain ways against these predatory guys. And one of the lines at the end, he's like, and so what? She's going to accuse me of this and ruin my life? Don't you understand? That's a guy's worst nightmare. And she goes, any idea what a woman's worst nightmare is?
Getting raped.
Yeah, so it kind of puts things in perspective.
Oh, that's what she meant.
God damn it, Brian. So I
Cat
get
dying.
I should have
cat
caught on.
dying. That's right. Being out of Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah, that movie was overhyped, but
Yeah.
a good movie.
Yeah.
It's not Academy.
Well, we were talking about laws and new mandates. We haven't talked about the ones that are about to go into effect. You want to talk about some of those?
Yes.
California specific or federal?
I think these are nationwide, but with the ones that aren't, I will let you know. So effective on January 21st, states have increased the minimum wage to $15 an hour. This is something I'm really interested in. There's something called the No Surprise Act. Any guesses?
Oh, wait, yes,
Something tells me this may affect you, Brian.
I just signed this.
I'm sure you
literally
did.
just signed this yesterday. I went to the doctor. It's about surprise billing or something.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is one of those things. It's like,
Oh,
what
the
took you
medical
so
thing,
long?
yes.
Yeah. So this is, it goes into effect. It bans surprise medical bills. The federal ban prohibits most unexpected medical charges.
No glitter in the envelope? Once you don't
Somebody delivers it in a singing telegram from out-of-network providers and will apply to about 10 million bills a year.
You know what? I remember hearing about this early last year or early last year. I think it's the Trump thing, and I'm not a huge Trump fan. I think it's a surprise. But this is a great law, and I was 100% behind him. But
he also wanted to fast track, he had to think about experimental medications.
Yes.
Like if you're dying,
Yes. And you want it?
You can take it.
Absolutely.
It's called the guinea pig law. A good law is a good law.
Well, let me give you some for instances with this. So it protects patients when they receive emergency care or scheduled treatment from doctors and hospitals that aren't in their insurance network and that they didn't choose. Yep. Consumers are responsible only for their in-network cost sharing in these situations. That is fabulous. Illinois, the Teaching Equitable Asian American History Act, very specific. They've gone into effect. The law requires schools to add a unit to the curriculum on events of Asian American history, including the contributions of Asian Americans in advancing civil rights since the 19th century and contributions made by individual Asian Americans in government and the arts and humanities and sciences.
I'd love to be the grizzled teacher. It's like, all right, everyone turn to Pearl Harbor, chapter that says Pearl Harbor. Then we're going to go Bataan Death March after that. And then we're going with Comfort Women. And then we're going to watch Bridge over the River Kwai, and then that'll about cover us. All right.
What about Michelle Kwan?
I don't know that name. Is she a comfort woman?
Christy Yamaguchi?
Another comfort lady.
No, they're Olympic champions.
Well, all I know is my great-grandfather died in the Bataan Death March, and I had an uncle that was on the Arizona Pearl Harbor, and so that about covers it for me.
Today's lesson is called John McCain Got Off Easy.
That's right. That's right.
And finally, just to put a bow on this, DC, welcome. They will start fining for using gas-powered leaf blowers.
Good.
The regulation was passed in 2018, but wanted to give people a nice 4 years to switch over. Now the fines will be $500 a pop.
Well, they're going to have problems like we have here. We got to figure it out. Who is doing... Look, we've had this law in place since 1999 in California. We're on the vanguard of all things pollution, all things whatever. We've never enforced it once.
Right.
There's 100% Hispanics with leaf blowers. Once in a while, you see a white kid on a skateboard with a leaf blower, but he's just fucking around.
Just for fun.
Well, it's the only time you've ever seen a blue-eyed
Johnny
guy.
Quest.
Yeah, he's blowing. Yeah, you got Eric Stromer's son. He's on the cul-de-sac. He's fired up the leaf blower. That is the only time I've ever seen a white dude holding a leaf blower.
For folly.
Yes, pure sport. In terms of work, it is 100% Hispanic here in California and certainly in Los Angeles. And who's going to take the poorest people in our culture and fine them $287 for their leaf blower? We won't do it.
But
we
can't
won't
there be
enforce it
a
here.
voucher for a new leaf blower? I mean, if you're going to help.
I'm with you. You know, the thing, the part that everyone loses in the discussion of the leaf blower, especially the sound is horrible. The pollution, what comes out of the tailpipe is horrible. And then everyone goes, get them an electric leaf blower. But the problem is it still kicks up all the dust and all the particulates and all the things when you're walking your dog, you see that big cloud of dust, and the guy's out in the street. Well, you don't have the sound, or you're going to have some with the electric, but nothing stops the huge plume of all the shit that's on the ground that's going to end up in your fucking lungs. That's the worst part about the leaf blower. It's not... The exhaust of the leaf blowers never fucked you up.
Right.
It's the dust cloud that fucks you up.
So again, I ask, where's the lawn vacuum?
They have some version of it.
What? Buy a rake.
Buy a rake. The handheld lawn vacuum.
I had a rake. My father gave me a rake and garbage bags. He said, I'm going to work. This lawn better be clean by the time I get home. That was it.
Adam was 41 at the time.
I was 41 years old.
And that's
I had to whittle the rake.
We talk about narcissism, and it's like, oh, rake, you're taking your stuff, you're putting it in your bag, you're disposing. A leaf blower, fuck it, I just don't want it in my lawn. I don't want it on my porch. I don't want it on my curb.
Or maybe we could, you ran in the one at 6:45. I've done 1 million. I'm walking my dog on a Saturday, even a Sunday. It's 2 p.m, and the guy's blowing the shit all out in the street. Maybe there's just a window, like crab season. Or something like that.
Leaf season.
Like, there's leaf season. Like we go, look.
They call it autumn.
It is 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and it's definitely not Saturdays or Sundays. Like, here's your window. I would go, all right, I'm not going to walk my dog until after 4, or I'll save it for the Saturday or whatever it is. But I don't know. It'll be interesting if they enforce it, because we're very selective here about the enforcement and the. We don't like the narrative of
bad optics.
Yes, we don't like the optics of enforcing certain things. So I don't know who's doing the leaves over there, but if they got a bunch of Irishmen, they're going to hand out some tickets. I doubt the Irishers into lawn care as they were.
Yeah, back in the day.
It's 4:30, Patty. Turn it off. Turn it off.
That's right.
Got a lot of Glens.
That's what it sounds like.
Well, let's talk about a different kind of law. This is coming out of Spain. Spain will consider a pet's welfare when couples divorce or break up, and that starts this week.
Custody.
Yeah, it's a shift that strengthens the case of couples obtaining shared custody for their animals. And like you said, France has it, Portugal has it.
This is good.
They don't want to treat animals like property. They want to treat them like your ward. Like you're like a living human creature.
This
Not
is
human, but
society. This is a culture who are running out of problems. That's why you like these kinds of laws.
Right.
You don't see so much of this in the Sudan and Middle East and places. You know what I mean? Like this is when you really, if you want to know where to move, like who has the best culture, find the one with the craziest laws that really are neither here nor there. Everyone else is looking for clean water to drink, and you're trying to figure out who's getting the collie when you guys go your separate ways. That's a little bit of out of problem.
That's true.
Society.
Although that makes California a bamboozle state, a real bait and switch.
Right,
because that's all we care about.
We do those. We have the transgender aisle, the Target law, and then we have homeless humanity flopped out on every
Does nobody
sideway.
hear me? Gas is $5. Can we focus on that,
crazy.
please?
You should be so lucky if it's $5.
Where are you going?
The worst is if you watch not the local news, but you watch the national news, and people are outraged because the average cost is $3.11, and you're like, oh, it's brutal.
I would drive for that.
Right. I know.
Do you know how bad I got the cheap gas app on my phone? It stopped working.
Oh my God.
It stopped working. I did this morning.
They said that they thought maybe in San Francisco it's getting to $6.
Jesus. Of course it is.
Why? Why here? Why is everything the most? Why does it have to be? It doesn't have to be.
In the rich parts of town here, Beverly Hills and whatever, it's $6.
Oh, is it?
I mean, like $5.99
for the
that's the cash price. And when you get up, they're like, sorry, we take pelts. You got any pelts?
That's right. There is a cash price.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Oh, goddamn. Yeah. All right, one more.
All right, one more. Well, let's make it good. Here's a fun one. So, State Department of Motor Vehicles receives thousands of requests for vanity license plates every year, and it's somebody's job within the department to accept it or deny it based on what they want. Many requests are denied because they're inappropriate. So the Ohio DMV has released their list of vanity plate requests that were deemed inappropriate for 2021.
This should be required.
And I have a few of them.
Hey, Chris, on the back street, the street right behind us.
Yeah.
Are you able to ascertain that direction?
I can.
Gina
yes.
wouldn't know. All right, the street behind us. The street behind us has a Honda that says like MVP Mamba.
Oh, yeah.
On it. It's a Kobe.
Kobe lives.
Kobe lives.
That's what you're saying?
And he's driving a Honda.
He's driving a Honda.
Mighty have fallen.
Hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, I was there 2 hours ago. I don't know if it's moved.
We're checking.
But it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. You're right about that. I do just want to remind everyone that I was right that Laurel Canyon goes north and south.
Yeah, you're right. You told me east and west, so that fucked me up.
Yeah,
but
I
said north. You're right. You're right.
Thank
I've lived there my whole life.
Yeah. No, we can just stop it.
Because the big deal is south of the boulevard.
Oh, yeah, into the hills.
If you live south of Ventura
Right,
Boulevard
right.
on Laurel Canyon, you're doing
You're
well.
moving on up.
So I was like, they're living south of the boulevard. That's
You're right.
Ventura Boulevard.
Well, let's go through some of these license plates and see.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So this guy's got his Mamba MVP thing on there, or MVP Mamba, or Black Mamba, or BL, whatever. We can figure it out. Now he's driving a Honda.
Right.
He's working in this neighborhood. Do you think he's a huge Kobe fan, or is he thinking ahead? Like, I passed a lot of restaurants in Portland. It's like, Black Lives Matter. We stand with you. Like, during when the next race rides, this guy trying not to get pulled out of his car and Reginald identified off of the fucking cinder block in his head. Like, maybe this guy's just thinking ahead.
Interesting.
He's not a basketball fan. He's scared.
Yeah. I got my Ted Nugent forever license.
You might want to chisel that off.
So maybe this guy's just thinking about.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was walking through Portland, I saw 1,000 Black Lives Matter all in the windows, all kind of going,
don't break those.
bust the other window.
No, you're right.
Maybe I was thinking that way.
What was the sign I saw that it went by too fast to take a picture of? We were in a not great part of Portland. Remember, it was like kind of some rundown houses, a row of them, and a not great looking house. And I think they had a big sign in front that said, "Black people are magic."
Oh, yeah. Oh, I could do Magic MVP.
That's right,
which
Magic
is another
Johnson.
famous Laker.
There you go.
I don't know. We'll see when they get back if that's still there. Sorry.
Okay.
All right, the list.
So this is the Ohio DMV list of inappropriate license plates that got denied from 2021.
Can we decipher these? Do they require like deciphering?
I will help you with that. The first one was, I guess the guy's name was Zach, Nut Zach.
Nut Zach.
Oh, that's
Not
funny. He's a
bad.
nutty guy named Zach.
Boob 33. I'll submit again next year. Turd Pro.
Well, he's probably a rooter guy. It's probably a van. It's a rooter service.
right.
You know what I mean? Turd Pro. Call it Turd Pro. Like it never happened.
He's a proctologist.
That's right. Drug DLR. Drug dealer.
Pharmacist.
You probably don't want. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, pharmacist.
Again, I'll resubmit next year. Slut Bus.
That's funny. Get some for your daughter.
Yeah. F-bombs. BNDOVR.
Bend over.
Oh, bend over.
Also maybe a proctologist.
Or his name was Ben.
That's right.
I pee a lot. Too effing slow.
Oh, like you're speeding away
Yeah.
from someone.
And
Who? All right, go ahead.
the last one, 2020 FU.
Who?
like
That
that
one's
one.
easy
Yeah,
enough,
that's
but there's got to be.
That guy hates perfect
First off,
vision.
this can't be a dedicated job at the DMV.
Oh,
You
gotta
can't
be awesome.
just do this. You got to work a window.
Right.
Approving personalized plates.
Yeah, there's probably a committee.
There's got to be someone who's like, hey, John, you do a lot of crossword puzzles, right? Yeah. Come here.
Yeah. Could this be?
Would you? You must have to hand it off a little bit because we've all been behind the person with the vanity plate and had to ask the guy in the passenger.
Yes.
What does that mean?
What does
Right.
that
Yeah,
mean?
absolutely.
25% of those are undecipherable.
Right. But some I don't get.
Yeah.
I need a set of eyeballs on it to help me through. There must be the committee, right?
No, there has to be. You're right. If it's euphemistic or if it's just somebody's name, absolutely.
I would argue that the first one with the guy's
Nut
name.
Zach?
Zach.
You got out of jail on that one.
He's grandfathered in.
What if he's an almond farmer?
His name is Zach.
Yeah.
What if he makes peanut butter?
All right, Max Bad. Anyone see that?
Still waiting. Yeah, we sent Kalen out, so he's out there right now.
Well, he's getting high then. It's just the first car. He'd turn around and come back. If it was not there, it's not there. But all right. I'm curious.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Do you think he made a right when he left the gate or left?
You'd hope so.
He said, I think he made
Left
right,
the
'cause-
gate?
Okay.
Because you walked that way.
All right. All right. All right. Let's bring it home, Gina Kraft.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
96% fat, you fucking bald fuck.
Gina.
That was the news.
Rounding up.
With Gina Grad.
White Honda's gone?
It's gone.
Oh, man. Well, we'll try to catch it tomorrow, see if it's back. Let me tell you, last but not least, about the Jordan Harbinger show. Yeah, man. If you like fascinating podcasts and interesting people, then you'll want to check out our friend Jordan Harbinger. There's an episode for everyone, no matter what you're into. Jordan talks to Scott Adams about persuasion in a world where facts don't matter anymore, or go inside the dark world of wildlife trafficking. You'll always find something useful you can apply to your own life, routine changes that boost productivity or slight mindset tweaks that change how you see the world. You'll enjoy the show. We've had him on a few times. We've had him on me and Dr. Drew's show as well. So you can just search it out, The Jordan Harbinger Show. That's Harb as in boy, IN as in Nancy, GER on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to finer podcasts. It is The Jordan Harbinger Show. All right, let's give the special out. It's scary in here. Adam Ferrara. It's available for free on YouTube, so doesn't get much cheaper than that. Filmed at Gotham. Adam's a great stand-up, so go check that out. Live dates coming up, Addison, Texas, January 21st through the 23rd. Phoenix, Arizona, CB Live, January 26th through the 30th. You can listen to the podcast, the Adam Ferrara podcast as well. Website, adamferrara.com. Go to Carolla.com for all the live shows. And until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Adam Ferrara and Gina and Bald Bryan. Say it. Mahala. We don't need your kind in here, Jonathan.
Keep walking.
Beat the shit out of
I'm
us.
from Tokyo.
We have universal slangs
trees aren't curved.
Epithets that just cover everyone. Yes, trees aren't curved. Get out here with your hocus
bonsai.
pocus. Yeah.